Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under Commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All black Hispanics and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and war like apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.
All right. Let's clap it up. We back again. Wednesday night is a law class. You understand? We learn about the law in here. We learn about God's laws. We learn how powerful God's laws are for us. And when I speak about us, I'm talking about the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. You understand? God's laws were created for us, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, not any other nation. These laws are not for the heathens. You understand? But if we follow the laws, you understand, the heathens will follow. You understand? We were given these laws for morality. The other nations don't have morality. As we can see, look what's going on around the earth today. You understand? The earth is destroyed because of the oppressor and because of the heathen nations. Because another people are running the earth. And because another people are running the earth, there is no morality. America has no morality. And none of these other nations, because they follow Babylon, because they follow Egypt, because they follow America, they have no morality. That's why they're allowing other nations of people to be outrightly destroyed. You understand? Amalek is destroying the Palestinians. Not that we really care, but it's a morality thing. You understand what I'm saying? What's tonight's class? The title of tonight's class is God's Laws Give Israel Morality. You understand? What is it to be moral? You understand? We got anybody online? Anybody online? We got two people online, right? Somebody tell me, what is it to be moral? We give you about 30 seconds for that. What is it to be moral? Huh? I'm looking at what's your name? Hey, Salak, yes, sir. If you put it on the comments right there. Yeah, touch that. Yeah. It should pop out. You can see if anybody, you know. No, you ain't got hit no. It'll pop up if somebody say something, it'll pop up on there. You can see it. You understand? What is it to be moral? I'm gonna give it to you, right? I'm gonna say what it is to be moral. What it is to be moral is a lesson, especially one concerning what is right. You understand? And today, especially here in America, we don't really understand what is right. You understand? We talked about this the other day. I believe we talked about this in history class the other day. America says it's okay to be LGBTQ. We heard that we've been hearing that for years now. You understand? America changes laws. America changes our people from being moral to being immoral. You understand? This is what America does. This is what, when you allow another nation of people to run you, another nation of people changes laws as they see fit. Not because of morality, but to suit what they like to do. You understand? And we all know that America, especially with the oppressor, they have a LGBTQ what's the word I'm trying to look for? When somebody has it's in them to be LGBTQ. You understand? It's part of their DNA. It's part of their makeup. It's in them to be immoral. So when we looking at laws that we know, you understand, is immoral. Think about this, right? Why are you not LGBTQ? But you're right. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're right. And morality says to you and to me and to sis that our love that we show to the opposite gender. You understand what I'm saying? LGBTQ says that you can be and you can love and you can share things with the same, you understand, same sex, right? Same sex. You understand, where we clearly see in the Bible. As a matter of fact, let's grab that first. Let's grab that in the Bible. Give a minute to grab that. Mankind. That'd be Leviticus, the 18th chapter, and the 22nd verse. We're going to pick that up real quick. We're going to give everybody a chance to get to it. When you can write these scriptures down as we going through them. You understand? You can review them in your spare time. Right now, we going to Leviticus, the 18th chapter, and the 22nd verse.
Leviticus 18 and 22. Thou shalt not lie with mankind.
Say that one again.
Thou shalt not lie with mankind.
What does it mean? What does it mean when it says, thou shalt not lie with mankind? You understand? What does that mean when it says, thou shalt not lie with mankind? Let's see if somebody can pick that up. Let's see if somebody can pick that one up. Thou shalt not lie. Excuse me. Thou shalt not lie. I'm tired. give me a little time. Thou shalt not lie with mankind. What that means is that a man shall not lie with a man. A man shall not sleep with a man. A man shall not have the same relations that he has with a woman with a man. That's what that means. And think about it, right? Naturally, even as children, think about it, Ricard. Even as children, as little boys, we was always attracted to the little girls. When we thought about getting too close to a boy, we like, you know what I mean? Because naturally, it's in us to be, you understand, manly with men and gentle with women. You show kindness and love. And I'm not saying that you don't show love to your brother, but you understand what I'm saying. The type of love that we talking about as far as lying with mankind. You understand what I'm saying? And it's naturally in us to be like that. And think about this, right? In the 60s and the 70s, when brothers came up like that, or when sisters came up like that, it was diagnosed as a mental illness. Did you know that, sis? In the 60s and 70s, this LGBTQ community, it was documented and it was noted that this was a mental illness. It wasn't right. You understand? But over the years, you can see how the morality has really fallen. America has always been an immoral country. You understand what I'm saying? Even to the times that they brought us over here. Think about this. What nation buck breaks? You understand? It's European culture. You understand? It comes back all the way back from the Roman Greco Spartan days in Athens. They had man-boy love. You understand what I'm saying? They said it's recorded that they only had relations with a woman to procreate, but their love was man for man love. You understand what I'm saying? And that's documented. You understand what I'm saying? It's documented. And then the thing about it is, when you're around the oppressor and when you're around immorality so long, that immorality begins to rub off on you. That immorality begins to fall upon us. You understand what I'm saying, sis? And so much so that in the 70s and the 80s, the LGBTQ capital of America used to be San Francisco. Right? Remember that? You remember? That's where when anybody always talked about San Francisco, except for the 49ers, you understand? We always thought about that community because even on, remember all the disco shows that used to come on when we was young? All the disco shows, a lot of them was in California, San Francisco, all of those Studio 54 and all of that. When you seen them on there, you seen all of the flamboyant, and they were oppressors. You understand what I'm saying? Now we get all the way to the 2000s into 2025. Now the LGBTQ capital of America is who? Atlanta. You understand what I'm saying? It's Atlanta. So now the face of the LGBTQ is now shifted to us. So when people think about LGBTQ, now they're thinking about what they call them, the transgenders, the wigs, the men flamboyant with dresses and all of that type of stuff. That's the first thing. We don't think about the oppressor anymore. We don't think about somebody like Elton John. We don't think about somebody like all of those, people that we knew back when we was young was that. You understand what I'm saying? Now it's the face of us. The first thing we looking at a Prince, a Michael Jackson, and all of those type of brothers. You understand what I'm saying? You looking at what's the little short preacher dude name? Do you really want a revolution? There you go. That's him. We thinking about them, and you understand all of these Eddie Longs and things like that. You understand? That's the face now. You understand? Where was Eddie Long stationed at? In Atlanta. Where who has taken over for him now? Eddie Long. Who took over for Eddie Long in his church? Yeah, Jamal Brown. You understand? You know he was a protege of Eddie Long. Yeah, Eddie Long had him up under his wing back when Jamal Brown was young. Before Jamal Brown got the Empowerment Temple right up there off of Northern Parkway. Remember that? Yeah. I remember watching him come up in his church under his mother and father. I was part of the AME. You understand what I'm saying? He got to the point where his pride got so big, they tried to sit him down. He told them, "You're not sitting nobody down." Said, "All the money that I bring in." See, that's another thing too, right? With immorality brings pomp and pride. You understand? To the point where the rules that were created for everybody, you don't live by those rules anymore. Listen, these rules that God created, America does not live by those rules because of the pride and the pomp of America. You understand? You get that pride where you feel like you better than anybody, and what you do is okay. You understand what I'm saying? Even if it's immoral. You understand? That's where you begin to fall at. What's that saying go? How does that saying go? The pride comes before the fall. The pride comes before the fall. When you get too proud, you get too above yourself. Think about everybody. I think let's look at this, right? Think about Diddy. Think about the proud. Think about the pride he had. and look at where he at now. You understand what I'm saying? Because this is how it goes when you're immoral. Immorality brings pride. You understand? It makes you feel like, listen, when you get away with the first thing, you feel like a lot of times you feel like I can do anything. And when you begin to say, I can do anything, what does that mean? You saying in your heart, I don't have to live by the law. I don't have to live by the rules. I can make my own way. That's what we say. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we say. Like, think about it, right? You ever did something wrong to somebody and got away with it, and you like, yo, I might could do this again. You understand what I'm saying? That's when you say that and you know you did wrong, and then you feel like you can do it again. That's when you begin to lose your immorality. America lost that immorality when the Europeans set foot on American land. Immorality is destroying the food source of a people that help you to survive. Also, you could take over and take the land. We talked about a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the Pumunki peace talks, right? The European did what? After these natives helped you get through that winter, the only thing that you could think about was, how can I destroy them and take what they have? You look at them and you say, look at the greatness in them. That's not in me. Because it's not in me, maybe I should just go ahead and take it. That's when immorality sets in, because you're the pride in you. They helped you get through. Now you're strengthened. Now you're strong. Now the immorality sets into the point where now I want what they have. I covet what they have. Hey, listen, that's a law too, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's a law too. Thou shalt not covet, right? That's what the oppressor does. The oppressor covets what he cannot have. Let's get a little bit deeper, right? Listen, think about this. I know you seen on the news them taking those oil tankers, right? America took oil tankers that internationally and constitutionally they were not supposed to take. But because America doesn't have their own source, America makes up a story and says, I'll take what they have. America covets Venezuela. America covets the Middle East. America covets Central and South America. So much so that America says, I'll take from them what I do not have. You understand what I'm saying? That's the pride of America. That's the pride of America. And think about this. I talked about this Monday, right? This is what America does, right? In World War II. America came into World War II late, right? America only had to fight Japan. All the other countries on the globe were fighting everybody. Everybody fighting everybody. Tag teaming everybody. America only had to fight Japan. In D-Day, after the end of D-Day, America had only lost 230-something thousand soldiers. Imagine Russia losing 4 million. At the time, it was the it was the USSR, Soviet Russia. You understand what I'm saying? Imagine a country like, I think it was Bulgaria or something like that. They lost almost 1 million people because they was in it the whole time. America figured like this, and this is the pride, right? America steps back, lets all the countries destroy each other, and then America becomes a unilateral leader of the globe. They make all of the rules, right? So now, when they sanction Cuba, right? When they sanction Cuba, and then 196 countries vote to take the sanctions off of Cuba, right? 2 countries vetoed it. Go ahead. What two countries were those? You know, sis?
What did I say?
There you go. You got one. What's the other one? I know you know it. Go ahead. Say it. You know who it is. Israel. And listen, officially, they're not even a country because they don't have any borders. You understand what I'm saying? It's the immorality. It's the pride that allows you to do the things that you do to become immoral, to create laws, to create a United Nations where you're the head and your veto can override 196 other countries. Listen, they started the League of Nations after World War I, right? They started the League of Nations after World War I, and they realized after that they had given all the nations too much power because they couldn't override and veto if the nations came together and it was a bunch of them voting over. So America stepped away from the League of Nations after they started it. You understand? That's history. I'm doing history in law class, but it's related. It's related, right? It's related. You understand what I'm saying? I get so caught up on history though. But that immorality showed through in what they did after World War II. You understand what I'm saying? So after World War II, they created the United Nations in a way that they could override and overpower any kind of vote that the United Nations put through. If America didn't like it, it doesn't happen. You understand what I'm saying? That's immoral. That's immorality. So now you can bomb and destroy anybody that you want. Other nations can't. You understand what I'm saying? America covets. The Bible tells us thou shalt not covet. As a matter of fact, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab that, right? No, before we do that, I'm going to finish with Leviticus 18 and 22. It says, thou shalt not lie with mankind, right? As with womankind, it is an abomination. Let's look up that word, abomination. You understand? Give me that meaning. Give me the definition of abomination. Let's get that. The definition of abomination. What are you looking at me like? Where you at, boy? Don't worry about it. I got you, bro. I got you. You understand? What's an abomination? Listen, we just went to the scripture, right? So you got it, sis? You want to slide over a little bit so we can hear you? Yeah, my sister want to join in. She got it. Now, before you read it, right, I'm going to go back over this again. I'm going to read this again. All right, we're reading that Leviticus 18 and 22. Thou shalt not lie with mankind, as with womankind. It is an abomination. Read what abomination is for me, sis.
Abomination is a thing that causes disgust or hatred.
Say that again.
Abomination is a thing that causes disgust or hatred.
Hey, listen, abomination is a thing that causes disgust or hatred. America is a hated nation. America is a disgusted nation. And I'm not talking about America being disgusted with the other nations. I'm talking about the other nations being disgusted with America. Look at what America does to us. We are disgusted with America. We have a hatred for America. Listen, the Bible tells us there's a time to love and a time to hate. What America does to us causes us to listen. We don't hate America because America is America. We hate America because of what America does to us. You understand what I'm saying? Just as the oppressor. We don't hate the oppressor because of his skin color. We don't hate the oppressor because of his eye color or the way his hair is. We hate the oppressor because of what he has done to us. And we have seen over the decades, over the centuries, of how the oppressor has destroyed us to the point we've been ground into powder. We listen, right now, we just a shell of ourselves. So much so that we show the oppressor more love than we show our own people. We have more patience with the oppressor than our own people. And that's because of the destruction that the oppressor has done to us. That's why we have that disgust and that hate for the oppressor. It says a thing that causes disgust or hate. You understand? And righteously, we have the right to be in disgust and hate with the oppressor because what has been done to us. Listen, if you still love America after what America has put us through as a people, looking at our brothers and sisters on the border in cages, looking how people are being deported, and not only being deported, but being deported to countries that are not the countries of their origin. Imagine us being deported and sent back to Africa. You understand what I'm saying? We already seen videos and and footage of how the Africans treat our people when they get over there. They treat the rich in a different way because the rich have money. But your average blacks in America, they treat us like garbage. You understand? And most of them treat us like garbage because they understand who we are. They understand the power that we have. And if you keep ridiculing the people and keeping them down, they won't be able to express and blossom into what the Most High has created them to be. And they can keep continually coming over here into our neighborhoods, building off of us. You understand? Making their lives off of us. Think about it, right? Every nation comes over here, lives the American reality. We are the only people that live the American dream. You understand what I'm saying? When they come over here, it's reality. Everything that the oppressor tells them that they can get, it's reality. Everything that they say to us, it's a dream. So yes, we do live the American dream over here. Once you wake up, you living in reality. We looking and seeing what we really truly are living in. You understand what I'm saying? We living in the disgust of America. We living in the hatred of America. We destroyed as a people. As long as we not following these laws, statutes, and commandments, this is why the laws were given to us. So you follow these laws, statutes. Matter of fact, we're gonna drop that and let's get that. Let's get Deuteronomy. No, we finished that, bro. We finished that. Me and sis finished that. Then we said we finished that. Yo, you said give me a minute. We gave you a minute, kept on going. Yo. All right, let's see. Let's grab that Deuteronomy 28. And we're gonna start at 1.
Deuteronomy 28:1. And it shall come to pass that thou shalt hearken diligently to the voice of the Lord thy God to observe.
Oh, right there. It says, and it shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken diligently. You understand that we shall be faithful, being diligent. You understand? Standing firm. You know how people say stand 10 toes down? Standing firm. If we shall hearken, listen, understand, stand firm. Go ahead. Diligent.
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God to observe and to do all his commandments.
To do all his commandments. And a lot of times we look at those first 10. That's what we look as the commandments. But the commandments go further than that. You understand what I'm saying? Everything that we listening to right in here, these are commandments. You understand? To observe, to do. He's given us a commandment right here. Listen, what he's saying basically, if you go ahead, I'm a elaborate once you finish. Go ahead, finish that, and you can go all the way through to the first verse.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command you this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Hey, listen, that's a commandment in itself. And it says it right there, which I command thee. And sometimes we look and we say, all right, we looking at the 10 commandments. Oh, he said, boom, 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 right? But we don't look. Every time he say, I command thee, it's a commandment. I'm commanding you. Listen, right? What's happening is he telling you, like, listen, check this out. If you do this, this is what's going to happen. You understand? If you follow my direction, you ever got something in a puzzle or something, or a model car, and they say, listen, these are the directions right here. This is what I need you to do, like that, right? And you'd be like, well, I'm gonna skip that one right there, and I'm gonna go here, and all of a sudden it come messed up, and you're like, yo, why ain't come out right? You know what I mean? Because you didn't listen, the directions command you to do it this way. Once you start flipping, once you start changing, once you start taking stuff out, right? That's basically you giving up your morality. In a way, that's what it is. You understand what I'm saying? When you take away from the law, when you change something in the law, like America does, America begins to give up morality. It's the same thing when you change in directions or something, and you try to wonder why it came out wrong because you skipping something. You ever got a recipe for something, and then you say, I'm gonna change this, I ain't gonna use that, and then you be like, damn, why it didn't come out right? Because you didn't change, you didn't gave up. I ain't saying you giving up morality, because you could change stuff in the what's name, but in a sense, it's the same thing in a sense. Every time you change something, you like, damn, why it didn't come out right? Because you didn't follow the directions. Why is our lives not coming out right? Because we're not following the commandments. We're not following the directions. When you don't follow the commandments, them things that happen 15 and back, this is what's going to happen. You ain't going to have no schools. You ain't going to have no businesses. You ain't going to be able to teach your children. You're not going to be able to control your children. You understand? Your storehouses are going to be empty. You understand? You won't be able to escape those curses, whether you're in the city or in the field. You understand what I'm saying? We know how the story go because we done read this. We done been over it enough. We know how it go. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, but they don't. But no. I'm saying that to you and I. We reading through it, but they don't understand how it goes. But we know how the story goes. You understand what I'm saying? When you change anything from a command, you change anything from a direction, you change anything from a recipe, and that thing will not come out right. It's not going to come out like it's supposed to. That's the reason why people write stuff down and say, follow this. It's the reason why God said, I command thee. Got those laws written down. I command thee this day. You understand? Go ahead.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Hey, listen, said he gonna set us on high above all nations on the face of the earth. When you look at us, right? When you look at us today, where are we? Why are we on the bottom? Because we changed the recipe. Because we didn't follow the direction. Because we didn't listen to the command. You understand what I'm saying? And when you don't follow the recipe, you don't follow the direction, when you don't listen to the command, this is what happens. This is what got us into captivity. All the other 6 times we was in captivity. Syrian captivity, the Persian captivity, the Greco-Roman captivity, the America captivity. You don't follow the directions, when you don't follow the code and stuff like that. You understand? Listen, I work with CNC machines, right? and they got code. We read a program, right? And by the program, this is how the machine runs. And at times you can print out a program by reading the blueprint. If you put anything in there wrong that's not on that blueprint, bam, you're going to crash the machine. You're going to tear something up, and it's going to be history for you. You understand what I'm saying? If I follow this code right, follow these directions, what I put on this machine is going to come out right, just like it's supposed to. Go ahead. What you got, bro?
That's why a lot of people ask God showed why we're in slavery. They don't check it. Don't read the Bible.
Right. Right. Hey, listen, I was one of them. Used to always say, well, if God real, and if that's why he got us in like this, you understand what I'm saying? And listen, right? If you look at a child, right? When you whip a child, what's the first thing a child say? Well, if you love me, why you beat me like that? You understand? It's because we don't have understanding. You understand? And if it's not for the whooping or the beating, you understand? We fall deeper and deeper and deeper into morality. Eventually, you and I, we both, and everybody that's in this truth came up out of that. We left. What does it say? What the Bible say, Raka? I put away childish things. When I became a man, I put away the childish thing. You know that scripture. You understand what I'm saying? Well, that's what we did. When we got understanding, when we grew, we put away the childish things. You understand? And we began to think and speak like men, not children anymore. We used to question, like, well, if God loves us, why does he allow this to happen? And listen, any loving father is going to discipline his children. When you become immoral, your father has to step in and discipline you. If not, we go out of control. Think about all of the I'm not saying that there aren't women who can raise good children, but think about all of the households that fathers were missing. And look what happened to them. Not to say that there aren't any households where a father was and things didn't happen. You understand what I'm saying? But for the most part, the stability of a household is a mother and a father. America has us to believe that we can be a single parent and raise a healthy family. How can you raise a healthy family as a single parent? Because a family means what? A mother, a father, and child, or children. You understand what I'm saying? That's a family. That's a complete family. You understand? Somebody ever told you they're gonna give you a 4-course meal and only gave you 2 courses? Is that a 4-course meal? Come on, man, stop playing with me. You understand? America makes us believe in immorality in such a way that it becomes natural to us. You understand what I'm saying? The things that, just like we say, pork, the new white meat. How many years have we been knowing that pork wasn't never good for us? Even before we came into the truth. But America makes us believe that that's the new white meat. It's good for you. Huh? Yeah. Before we came to America, we knew that. You understand? We knew it. Right. Yeah, I got that too. You know that that's in Second Maccabees. I got that one too. But let's hit back at that. Let's go further into that what we was just reading down to number 2.
Verse 2.
Deuteronomy 28:2. Go ahead.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. The Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations
Go ahead.
of the earth. Verse 2. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Go ahead.
Verse 3. Blessed shall thou be in the city, and blessed shall thou be in the field.
Hey, listen, it says, and all these blessings shall come on thee. Listen, we're going to be blessed with land. We're going to be blessed with beautiful children. You understand? We're going to be blessed with beautiful communities. We're going to be blessed in the city and in the field. No matter where we go, we're going to be blessed as long as we hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, and as long as we hold on to our morality, as long as we leave the heathen nations alone. You understand? As long as we leave the oppressor alone, as long as we don't intermarry and intermingle with the other nations, all of these blessings are going to overtake us. Shalom, Lord Christ, sir. You understand? Go ahead. Blessed shall thou be in the city, and blessed shall thou be in the field. Regardless of where we go, we're going to be blessed. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body.
Go ahead.
And the fruit of thy ground.
Go ahead.
And the fruit of thy cattle.
Go ahead.
The increase of thy kind. And the flocks of thy sheep.
Hey, listen, we're going to be blessed all the way around in everything in all of our endeavors. Everything that we step into, everything that we set our minds on, we're going to be blessed in. We're going to flourish in, as long as we keep our morality, as long as we keep these commandments, as long as we follow the law, statutes, and commandments, as long as we follow what God said, hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, listen, understand, follow. You understand? Go ahead. Verse 5.
Right. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Go ahead.
Verse 6. Blessed shall be thou when blessed shall thou be when thou comest in. Blessed shall thou be when thou goest out.
Go ahead. Verse 7.
7. Lord shall cause thy enemy to rise up against thee and be smitten before thy face.
That's the most important thing right there, right? That our enemies shall be smitten right before our face. You understand? But our enemies are not smitten because we have fallen into the morality of America. We did not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. We did not listen to his commands. You understand? When you don't follow, listen, have your mother ever told you not to do something and you say why, and she say because I said so, and you do it anyway, and then you realize like, damn, I shouldn't have did that. She told me not to do it. Listen, your mama didn't have to give you an explanation, but because she said don't do it, we should just not do it. Just like the Most High. The Most High says don't do this. Shouldn't even be a question of why shouldn't we do it. If he says we shouldn't do it, we shouldn't do it. You understand what I'm saying? But the problem with us as a people, and what does the scripture say? We are a stiff-necked people. You understand? We focus on one thing and we don't focus on the good that'll come out of it. We focus on why we not able to do it. It's just like a woman, right? At times you can give a woman this and that, and then it's the one thing that she can't get, just like Eve, right? That causes her to go off. And that's how we are. We are like women who have everything, but the one thing that we say, he says, nah, we want. and we throw everything away for that one thing and then realize that that one thing was not worth it. All we have to do is listen. He commands us this day to hearken unto his voice. You understand what I'm saying? All we have to do is just listen to what the Most High tells us to do. Listen, take that command and go. You understand? When you in the service, your what do they call it? Your higher up gives a command, and it's not, why do we have to do that? It's just, let's go. You understand? Well, that's how we're supposed to be with the Most High. He doesn't have to give us a reason of why. All we have to do is just follow. That's it. Go ahead.
Lord shall cause thy enemies to rise up against thee and be smitten before thy face.
Go ahead.
They shall come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways.
Hey, enemy gonna scatter before us. You understand? All we have to do is just be on the same. Listen, Zephaniah 2:1, gather yourself together, yea, gather together, O nation I desire. Listen, gathering together means being on the same accord, being on one accord. You understand? And if we on one accord, the other nations flee every other way. Listen, we got every nation in our communities. They not fleeing. Why? Because we not following the laws, statutes, and commandments. We not hearkening unto the voice of the Lord thy God. They are comfortable coming into, listen, the community, our communities are dangerous for us because we are cursed as a people. If you notice, you never seen any of that danger going against any of these other nations that are hunkered in our communities, taking our money. You understand what I'm saying? But once we follow the law, statutes, and commandments, they get unhunkered and they get pushed out. You understand? But because we lost our morality, we lost the love for our brothers and sisters, the danger and the curses fall upon us heavy, as opposed to all of the other nations scattering 7 ways, causing them to, depart from us. You understand? What did the go ahead? What did you graze at?
Expression so heavy, but it is letting you know why we just keep it involved. We what they have to fight.
Right.
Once I take care of enemies, everything you need
is right here. Hey, listen, check this out. Have you ever seen a silent boycott? You ever seen a silent boycott? Yeah, you have. You seen a silent boycott before? Sis, you ever seen a silent boycott? You have. You seen a silent boycott. They explain to you what a silent boycott is, right? Silent boycott is other nations not coming in and supporting you as a nation. Silent boycott is you supporting every other nation. Silent boycott is you buying that chicken and that pizza from the Arabs. Silent boycott is when you stand out there and you got your food truck, those other nations don't come up there to you. That's a silent boycott. Silent boycott is when you got that booth out there at Patapsco. None of those other nations support you. But when it's time to get that chicken and that fish, you supporting them. When it's time to go get Dunkin' Donuts, you supporting them. When it's time to go get gas, you supporting them. That's a silent boycott. These other nations silently boycott us every day. Why do they do that? Because we have lost our morality, because we do not follow the laws. We are not following and we are not hearkening unto the voice of the Lord thy God. And he says it right here in the scriptures. When you don't do that, these are the things that will befall us or befell us. Did I use that word right? Befell us? You know what I'm talking about, though, right there. Listen, this is deep. Listen, we are experiencing the negative side of not following the law, statutes, and commandments every day and don't even realize it. We question, like, why does God do this to us if he loves us? So you just, Gabar, you just said that a couple minutes ago. You understand? Why do this is the reason why is because we're not following the law, statutes, and commandments. We're not being obedient children. We're being disobedient. And when with disobedience comes what? Say that again. Curses. You get disciplined. You understand? You ever seen a kid after they get that whooping, and do you ever see them question why you do that? No, because we know why it happened. Well, this is the time for us to find out why it's happening. We listen, when these people come in here, when they look at us, when they listening to these videos that we doing, people gonna sit back because we was one at one time. They gonna sit back and say, damn, you know what? I used to always wonder why this was happening to us. And think about it, right? It don't happen to no other nation. That's ironic that it doesn't happen to any other nation. Now, these other nations over in their own countries, they warn with each other, right? But they're not experiencing a war where they can't fight back. That's the war that's the curse that we're under. You understand what I'm saying? Although those Palestinians look like they not fighting back, you got a lot of them over here fighting back. You understand what I'm saying? We can't go to another country and fight back against America because those other countries, they war with us too. You understand what I'm saying? That's a curse. That's not bad luck like the Palestinians got. That's a curse. Says it right here. We wonder. The time of wondering is over. Listen, we in World War III. World War III is underway. And it's imperative that our brothers and sisters wake up, pull the blinders back, pull the veil back from away from your eyes and understand and see what's going on. You understand? Let's go ahead. Read on. Hey, let's skip down. Let's go down to the curse. Let's go down to 15. Skip down to 15.
Deuteronomy 28, 15. But it shall come to pass.
Listen, it says, but it shall come to pass. Listen, this is going to happen. It shall come to pass. It shall happen. Go ahead.
If thou wilt not hearken
Go ahead.
to the voice of the Lord thy God,
Mm-hmm.
to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
It says, if thou will not hearken, if we will not listen unto the voice of the Lord thy God, if we will not listen to the voice of the Lord thy God, if we will not listen to these commandments, to observe, to do all his commandments, not some of them, but all his commandments and statutes, which I command thee this day. Look, immediately this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee. Listen, we've been talking about the curses. We talk about the curses every time we go out there on the streets and we talk. We talking about curses. We letting people know this is the reason why the things that are happening to us are happening to us. We lost our morality. The longer we listen, you ever seen something? You ever dyed a pair of pants? You ever dyed a pair of pants? Back in the day, we used to dye our pants. Your pants get old, we used to dye them, right? The longer you used to let them sit in there, the deeper the color used to set in, the darker it used to get. The longer we set in America, the deeper this immorality sets in on us. It's just like dyeing a pair of pants. The longer we set in it, the more we fester. You understand what I'm saying? The longer you set in anything, the more you get consumed by it. The longer you set in immorality, the more immoral you become. You understand what I'm saying? And this is what's happening to us in America. This is what has happened to us in America. The immorality has set deeply into our bones, down to the marrow. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it's set so deeply. It's set so deeply that we truly believe that it's okay to be LGBTQ. We talked about that earlier. We think that it is okay, you understand, for a man to be with a man, a woman to be with a woman. Oh, yeah, hey, let them do their thing, man. If that's their thing, that's their thing. You understand? I ain't bothering nobody, man. I'm in my own lane. You understand what I'm saying? These are things that happen to us. We think that it's okay. You understand? Because it has set into our very fabric of who we are. That it's a part of us now. But here in the ISUPK, we are pulling that out. You understand? We rinsing the dye out of people. You understand? We rinsing the dye out of our brothers and sisters. Go ahead. Right. Right. How about that? Hey, listen, check this out, right? Before I came in the truth, every other weekend, especially in the spring and the summertime, I'm grilling ribs on the grill. That was my thing. Hey, I don't care. I got them in the freezer, the deep freezer. I got them ready. You understand what I'm saying? Until I heard General Muhammad. You still out there doing this, boy. You ain't in the truth. Immediately before I came in the truth, or before I came to my first class, I cut it when I heard him say, because I listened to the UPK for 9 straight months. I used to tell people, yo, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I'm in the ISUPK. I ain't never been to a class. I heard him say the thing about the pork first. And what made me come to my first class is I heard General Muhammad say, well, listen, no matter what you're doing, no matter how much you're doing at home, if you ain't in this school and you ain't in this class, you ain't in the truth. Hey, Cat, no, I ain't calling Cat then. I say, is this the ISUPK? Cat answered the phone. I said, y'all got a school? Yeah. You know what I said? Where y'all at? He said, on Orleans Street. I said, I'm going to be there. Cap said, okay. I said, oh, this nigga, he think I'm joking. Yeah. Listen, I remember it word for word. Oh, I'm going to show him. You know what I mean? I came to the first class. Who at the front door? The bar car in Army fatigue. Who this big nigga is right here in this Army fatigue? That's what I'm saying in my mind, right? This nigga think he is. You know what I mean? Tell you what blew my mind. Tell you what blew my mind. Hearing Cap talk. Because I'm an older dude. And I think I know everything. And I heard him talk as a young dude. And I'm like, yo, where's these niggas getting this from? You know what I mean? I came to the second class. Go ahead. Right. 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 I kind of came in the door with low immorality in me. You know why? Because I looked at him as a young, yo. What he could teach me? You know what I mean? Still had that pride in me till I heard him talk. And I heard him saying stuff that I ain't know nothing about. No, listen. You talk to him. when I talk to him on the phone, right, I ain't thinking of nothing about him. But when you see somebody, you're like, yo, it's a young dude right here. You know what I mean? What can he teach me? That's that pride. That pride had to be broken. What they say they say they did that you gotta what they said cut it away. What they talking about? What's the term they use? Sever or I know you know what I'm talking about. It's a term that they use to slice away the bad parts. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna use that term for right now. But that's coming in the door. That's what happened to me. I still had immorality. I still had pride. You understand what I'm saying? And then to hear Cap say what he said, and then to break stuff down. And I'm thinking to myself, I know everything. I had to, all that Christianity, I had to wipe out of my mind. All of that immorality, I had to erase. I had to erase my whole blackboard and rewrite all over again, all from the beginning. You understand what I'm saying? Because when we come into the truth, a lot of times it's still immorality on us that we don't realize. And the thing was, Ricard, is I didn't realize it until years later. You understand what I'm saying? Like when I start to look back on how I came in, why I came in, you understand what made me stay. You start to realize, like, yeah, I still had pride. I still had, like, you know, you think you better than people because you got a little bit of age on you, not realizing the young man can teach you, which the young man, Captain Saparia, taught me. Right. Right. Think about this, right? Right. 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 Listen, it's our moral compass. The Bible is our moral compass. Listen, the Bible is our history, is our guide and our moral compass. Listen, understand this, right? The Christian church is like this. I always tell people this because me and Cap always laugh about this. I think this was my second Passover, right? My second Passover. We drove up to New York, and it was my turn to drive, right? Coming back. And for a whole hour, recall, I was driving in the wrong direction. So we going further away from home for an hour. My pride kept saying, nah, we going in the right direction. Don't worry about it. Don't wake nobody up and ask nobody no questions. It's pride. You got it right. It's the pride, right? So listen, I'm in the front seat battling with myself, battling with the demon, right? And I said, hold up. I woke Cap up. Cap, we going in the right direction? Boom. Oh, no, we going in the wrong. I had to whip around. Christianity is a demon. that causes brothers to go in the wrong direction. After you've been going in the wrong direction for so long, your pride gets so built, the immorality gets so wide in you that you refuse to find out if you're going in the wrong direction, and we continue in that direction. At some point in time, we don't want to hear that we're going in the wrong direction. So because we don't want to hear that we're going in the wrong direction, we ask nobody what the real truth is. You have to battle that demon, just like you said, that demon that I was battling. I beat him. I pulled over and I woke Cap up and I asked Cap. Well, coming out of Christianity is what we have. That's the only way we come out of Christianity, is to come into this truth and find out if we going in the right or the wrong direction. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead. What you got? Go ahead.
28:20. The Lord shall send upon thee curses, vexations, and rebuke, and all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, till thou be destroyed.
Till thou perish quickly. Listen, check this out. We talk about this damn near every week. How do you think Black Wall Street fell? How do you think Seneca Village fell? How do you think Rosewood fell? How do you think all those black cities and towns all around? Think about this too, right? They damn near fell all around the same time, begin to fall, begin to have all of these riots and these massacres break out all at one time. How is that? There you go. There you go. All of that. Think about this, right? The only thing we got to look on. Oh, remember Black Wall Street? Remember the millionaire? Remember that? Well, check this out. The Asians got their own communities. They looking at their millionaires right now. Ethiopians and the Africans, they got their millionaires. They talked about the richest African in the world right now. I watched him on CNN the other day. You understand what I'm saying? They looking at their millionaires right now. Not millionaires that the oppressor built, millionaires that they built themselves. Because people will start saying, oh, well, we got millionaires too. No, we don't. If somebody can turn around, if you're a millionaire and somebody can turn around and flip a switch and you can lose millions of dollars in a couple of seconds, you are not a millionaire. You are just a homegrown slave, $1 million slave. That's it. Right now, we don't have any control over anything. Anytime somebody can go into your bank account and take something from you and not justify why they took it and still not have to give it back to you, you're not a millionaire. If you say the wrong thing out of your mouth about a particular people and you can go from a millionaire to broke overnight, you are not a millionaire. Listen, they control the airways. They control the banking system. Listen, those Africans, recall, those Africans, they control their own banking system. You understand what I'm saying? Those Afghans, they control their own banking system. They control the money that comes in and out of their country. We don't control any of the money that comes in and out of our country because we don't have our own money. You understand what I'm saying? We don't have our own money and things like that. Go ahead.
Shall not be destroyed, and shall not perish quickly because of the wickedness of my doing. Forsaken me.
Where we at? Oh, okay. You jumped. I forgot you jumped down. I went back to 15 again. Hit me with that again. Yeah.
Deuteronomy 28:20. The Lord shall send upon thee curses, vexations,
and rebuke.
and rebuke.
And listen, check this out. Like I said again, right? It says, in all that thou settest thy hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed. Hey, listen, again, this is why all those cities and towns have been destroyed. This is why they fell. We keep looking. Go ahead. What you ready to say? Right. But that's something that's true, right? But that's something that we can see. We often wonder, how does the millionaire, the people who did it the right way, how did they fall? Yeah, because of the curses, right? Yeah, because of the curses. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, this is how Black Wall Street, how all those black cities and towns fell. Because when you have a curse, there is nobody that is, that is out of the hand of the curse or out of reach of the curse. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody is in touch. Go ahead, sir. Right. Right. On who? Right. Oh yeah. And you see him on you're like, oh, and you just can't. And you can't. That's a hell of an analogy right there. Overtake you. You understand? You feel like you got it, and then you see him out the corner of your eye, and you're like, oh my God. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You know what I mean? And that's a hell of an analogy. You understand? And that's us. You understand? That's us. We get overtaken. No matter what we do, we always lose in the end because of these curses. Not following law, statutes, and commandments. This is what it leads to. We get overtaken. We get overwhelmed, overtaken. And then we sit back and be like reminiscing. And just like I said earlier, we reminisce on old Black Wall Street. Remember when we had? Hey, you ever seen a dude back in the day who had it going on back in the day, and then he ain't got nothing going on in the days now, but he always say, man, back in the day, I remember when I used to, you understand? And you say to yourself, well, why are you not doing it now? Because you didn't follow the blueprint. Whenever you veer off from the blueprint, everything always gets messed up. When you veer away from the laws, statutes, and commandments, everything is bound to get messed up. We bound to lose. Listen, think about this, right? How many times have we had brothers and sisters be millionaires, right? And when they pass on, they pass on those riches to their children. Then all of a sudden, a few years later, their children are broke. These curses have fell upon us. You ever see oppressors' children, generation after generation after generation, they keep those millions in their family? Think about this. Elon Musk, mother and father, robbed diamond mines and gold mines in Africa. They became millionaires. Elon Musk became a billionaire, and they think he about to become the first trillionaire, right? See how generation after generation after generation. Now he gonna hand this down to his kids, and then they gonna be the next trillionaire. You understand what I'm saying? Where we get $1 million, and it's gone in a couple of years. Our children don't have anything but public housing, welfare. This is what gets handed down to us. Because of those curses, we inherit redlining, we inherit the black codes, we inherit welfare, we inherit public housing. This is our inheritance. This is the things that we hand down to our children. Poverty. You understand? Struggling. Listen, I would say about 78 78 to 80% of us living check to check. I think we got about 2% that may be above the poverty line. Everybody else is living check to check, and or I gotta say the majority of us, check to check, check to check, and that's us as a people. Think about this, right? When we look at it, this is how deep the curses are, right? There are no Asian ghettos. There are no African ghettos. Afghans just came over here 2 or 3 years ago. There are no Arab ghettos. Somebody tell me. Exactly. You understand what I'm saying? So think about this, right? Because I know them Arabs they not flying back to Afghanistan every day and coming back to sell us chicken and pizza. The Asians not driving all the way back to China and Japan, flying back every day to feed us soul food, right? You understand? I know the East Indians ain't going back to India and coming back selling us Dunkin' Donuts every day, right? Where do they live? They living deliciously. Like Cap said, they living deliciously. We are destroyed because think about it, right? I bet you most of us don't even think about where they live at. We don't even think about it. Listen, I've been living where I live. Giving them money. Yep. Only time. Exactly. Where do they live? That's the question right there, right? Think about this too, right?
Some type of service. Transaction.
Right. That's it. Go ahead. Well, I said that earlier, right? That's a curse. It's a curse. Hold up. And sell you bad food. And sell you bad product. And then on top of that, they come in and open up when they ready to open up. And we good with it. We'll stand outside the store and wait for them. Don't say and call the mom and pop and don't say nothing to them. Like, yo, where you been at? You understand what I'm saying? You supposed to be open it. You don't do none of that. The store, look. Salakia, sir, the store across the street from me opened up at 10 o'clock today. They supposed to be opened at 8 o'clock. They opened up at 10 o'clock. I was walking out the house to go to the bank to get some bank statements. I said, damn, the store ain't even open yet. I come back, they open. They open when they ready. Yeah. Right. Yep. Cap, I did it the other day. Man, I told you I had to go to the court. Last. Yeah. But I stayed. Yeah. Yeah, because I had to make a stop. I said I ain't get off until a little after 7 that night. Yeah. Low after 7. You know what I mean? And we lose it. We can't afford that. Look at them though. They got us sitting there waiting. That's a curse. Where you have listen, what's the scripture tell you? We are in want of all things. We have to go to them for food. We have to go to them for clothing. We have to go to them for everything. Water. We in want of all things. That's a curse. Right. Right. Listen, it's heavy that you brought that out, right? Because CNN did an article on the Native American Indians, right? They had the Native American Indians. They did an expose on one of the families, right? The father had to drive 3.5 hours to fill that ICBM container of water. Then he had a 3.5 hour drive back. He gone a whole job's worth a day worth of job for water for his family. You missing damn near 8-9 hours with your family to go provide for your family. You understand? That's a curse because we don't follow. Listen, America's an immoral country. This is an immorality. And this is the reason why we need to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. We need to bring morality back. Listen, you read it earlier, Ricard. We supposed to be above all nations that are upon the face of this earth. The nations should be following us. But because we are under this curse right now, we are following all these other nations. Hey, listen, with that, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I started at 7. Yeah. Under commanding General Yohana. Been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? The truth is that the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and the so-called natives are the true biblical Jews of the Bible. With that, I'm going to pass the class over to Priest Officer Gabar Ricard.
These are the security announcements. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to sell themselves to the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to that brother and sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head. We'll get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3 and 8 through 10. Means 10th in the Hebrew and it's pronounced by Israel. 10% of any penny of any increase the Lord gives you, gives to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest funds, pre-war office for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations, Slagging. Upcoming holy convocation.
For March the 4th, 2nd and 3rd.
For Rim,
March the 2nd and March the 3rd.
March the 2nd and March the 3rd. And Passover, April 4th. For my Akim, check on social media, such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to become a trooper in the school, then he should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher in the Israel Mighty. Mighty Shabbat, Mighty Rock. How about Tim Yashab Rakata? That's Matai, Saw, Sister Stan. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters in the Israel Mighty. Mighty Shabbat, Mighty Rock. How small other thing by Shimmy Yashab. That's Matai, Master Smith.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under commanding General Yohana, presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All black Hispanics and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yohana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping. Causes